Hi, this is Laura, and in this tech tip, we're going to go through a really fast trick for TCP handshake analysis. Not only are we going to look for any packets that have the SYN bit on, but we're also going to look for any of the TCP handshake packets that are missing features and functions that we want to see. So let's get started. Again, I've just got some background traffic here that I just captured, and I always pay attention to the TCP handshake because there are features that are advertised in the TCP handshake that we want to know whether they're supported, such as selective acknowledgements or window scaling. And so the first thing that I'll do is I'll create a button that's looking for just TCP SYN packets. Then I'm going to add on to this and say I'm looking for not only SYN packets, but SYN packets where we're missing some feature. So let's just apply a filter for TCP traffic first. And there we go. And we can see we've got a SYNAC right there. It doesn't matter which packet you select to start this out. You're going to go into a TCP header, expand the flag section, and look for the SYN flag. I'm going to click and drag this up, and I'm going to replace the existing filter with the selected value. Now I just picked up and dragged a SYN flag where it's set to 0, but I'm interested in when it's set to a 1. So I'm going to change that to 1. And I'm going to make this a button called SYNs. On the right hand side, I'll click the plus, and I'm going to give it the name SYNs. And because I'm going to make another button dealing with TCP traffic, I'll go ahead and put in a header on this one. And if you watched the tech tip number 2 that I did on 3 cool buttons for Wireshark, you'll see I worked with this header structure. So I'm going to put in capital TCP // and then the name of my button. Say OK, there's my header TCP, and below that is a button called SYNs. So I can click on that just to see the SYN packets and the SYNAC packets in the trace file. We can see, looking at these, that on the right hand side we have some options, some TCP options. For example, this one, maximum segment size 1460, window scaling with a multiplier of 256, selective acknowledgements is permitted. I really want to see all 3 of those TCP options in all SYN and SYNAC packets. So let's add on to this filter so that we can detect when one of those is missing. So let's take a look at the options area. If you're expanding your window and you just have it set like this, where it's just a summary line, you want to click on the arrow to the left of that to expand that out at least 1 layer. You're looking for the field called the kind field. Now, the maximum segment size option is kind 2. Window scaling is kind 3, and SAC is kind 4. And I want to know anytime I'm missing one of those 3 options in a packet that has the SYN bit on. So I'm going to just take this kind maximum segment size 2 and drag it up to my existing filter, and I'm going to choose and not selected. So I'm looking for any time there's a SYN or a SYNAC and the maximum segment size is missing. That option is missing. Looks like in this trace all of them have that, but I want to know anytime it's missing kind 3 or kind 4. So I'm going to clean this up just a little bit. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to put or pipe, paste that back in. Let me give it a space here. Say 3 pipe or not kind 4, end parentheses. So you've got to make sure that your filter line has green behind it before you can save it as a button or run it as a filter. So I'm going to save this one and call it TCP / missing options and say OK. So now I have a button for this, and when I click on it, I should be able to see anytime a SYN or a SYNAC packet is missing any one of those options. And we can see here that we do have some packets that match this. We've got one here that's missing both the window scaling and SAC. These are all missing window scaling and SAC. And we have one here that's just missing the window scaling, but it does have selective acknowledgements on. So this is an easy way to find out if you've got some connections taking place that are not using some of these TCP options that we like to see in our communications.